What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV. This is going to be my initial review. You could call it 5 days later or whatever. I've had this phone and I wanted to give you my so far review about the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now I do want to let you know that there has not been any update pushed out to this phone. They always push out usually like a day one release update. I don't have that yet because the phone's not officially out, even though I have it because Samsung gave it to me because I'm a reviewer. And with that, things could change, they could improve, they could get worse. Generally, they improve. But I just want to let you know that. First of all, let's talk about the design. I love the design. Some people are so turned off by how thin this thing is, and I absolutely love how thin and light this is. Going back from your Z Fold 6 to this, even if I have that big old case that I have on all the time, because that's the only case I have, it is still a lot thinner, and well, not thinner, but it's a lot lighter than the previous Galaxy Z Fold 6. It's very impressive. I love what they did with it. It's crazy thin and it's really lightweight. So I love that whole part of this whole thing, the design of it. Again, I know some people are like, give me more battery, give me the S Pen, give me all that stuff. But I'm fine with it because I don't care about battery. Of course I care about battery life, but I don't really care about the S Pen personally. So for me, it's not a big deal, but I do love the thin and light design. It also feels really good made. Now I do want to mention that if you don't use this with a case, it is a little bit hard to open up. Not terribly difficult, but I know like when my wife and my friend, for the first time me showing them the Galaxy Z Fold 7, they were kind of like, oh, I can't open it. Now, I'm literally having no trouble. I think it's just what you're used to with the Z Fold 6, then you come over to this and you're like, oh, it's a little bit harder to open because that hinge is nice and tight and it's so thin, it's a little bit hard to grab. But with a case, completely easy. And then after using it for days on end, look, I literally have no problem. I'm just gonna turn my head. Look at that, no problem at all. I'm able to open it up. So just something you might wanna know. Outer display usability, it's gotten bigger and it is easier to use. It's gone from 6.3 to 6.5, almost like a traditional phone, like a S25 phone. And it's been great. I've enjoyed my time with it. I have used it a little bit more. And in my mind, less time have I been like, I have to open it up. I think almost from habit, from the Z Folds of the past, living in the inside display, having a bigger outside display, I've caught myself, I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I wanna go on the inside. I'm like, maybe not. So that bigger increase on here has been great. Also, the bigger inside display has been amazing. I don't know what it is, it's not brighter, I don't believe, from what I can remember, than the Z Fold 6. These displays seem and feel brighter outdoors. I do it all the time. I'm using these phones outdoors. I'm like, I can see this just as good inside as I can outside. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my new wallpaper, but otherwise, it's so much easier to see outside for me. It's been absolutely awesome. And the bigger display with multitasking and gaming and reading things and everything else that takes advantage of the bigger display, again, has been a great thing. So speakers, man, there was rumors they were gonna get better, that they were gonna be louder, that they're gonna be like what the S25 Ultra was over the S24 Ultra. It didn't come true. The speakers are equivalent, maybe a little worse than the Z Fold 6, maybe a little bit better at times, definitely not overwhelmingly better. If anything, they're at best, I would probably say equal to those, which aren't bad at all. They're not, obviously not the best speakers that Samsung puts out on a phone, but they're also not super impressive. And I think a lot of that has to do with the thin design of this. It's probably a byproduct of, hey, we can't put these massive speakers in this phone because of the fact that it's so small. It's like it just can't happen. Any bugs or glitches with the phone thus far? I have. It's been weird. I'm like, it's just been within apps that it's happened. Like and it's probably just the app needs to be updated or we need that day one update. So I'm not too concerned with it, but like the Galaxy Z Fold 7 using Facebook Messenger, like it's hard for me sometimes to send a photo. I have to close the app, or sometimes when I'm trying to type in something with the keyboard, like tap into a field for the keyboard to pop up, it doesn't. It's stupid things like that, but I can usually fix it by just closing the app and reopening it. It fixes it. I haven't seen anything super pressing that I wasn't able to, again, fix with just closing the app or a restart of the phone. But I would tally that all up to probably the phone needing an update and or the app needing an update to be compatible with this phone. Now, like I said earlier, there is no S Pen support. I've done a video where you can use like those traditional rubber-ended pens, which are not a great solution. They are somewhat of a solution, but not really a full solution. So if you love S Pen support, this has no S Pen support, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending upon how you look at it, because the byproduct of this being thin and lightweight is they took some of that technology out and removed it so that it doesn't have that, but you have a nice thin and light phone, which also talks about the battery life. How has the battery life been? Hasn't been, like I feel like it's been a little bit better than the Galaxy Z Fold 6, but by a small amount as I've been using this day after day after day. Like today, I had 3% left and it was about 1 p.m. or something like that. And I only had about a little over 3 hours of screen on time, which is terrible. So you're not gonna, and I know other people, Jeff Springer, another creator who does Samsung reviews, he also is in that ballpark of about 4 hours or less of screen on time. So I would say don't expect a ton of screen on time with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. The battery's pretty small. You get these big bright displays. It's probably just not going to be a thing. Performance. This is literally, and I feel like I say this at the beginning of every Galaxy Z Fold phone, the smoothest Galaxy Z Fold. It's so smooth. The only time I feel like I run into any kind of slowdown is when the phone's just booting up and it's not fully loading all the apps and I'm trying to do something. I'll notice like, it's not feeling so fast. Beyond that, which goes away like within seconds, beyond that, this phone is incredibly smooth. It is ridiculously smooth. So happy with One UI 8 on here in terms of the performance, the day-to-day usage. It's been excellent. I haven't done a ton of gaming. I've done a little bit of Fortnite on here and it played well. I'm gonna do a separate video on gaming on here this week and I'll release it very, very soon. But otherwise, just like day-to-day operations, opening apps, closing apps, being within the operating system and everything else has been incredibly smooth, a beautiful experience. By the end of the Z Fold 6, at times it was pretty sluggish, pretty slow at times, but most of the times it was pretty good. But there was times it was just not very nice thing. It probably needed me to reset it and start anew and it probably would have been fine. But so far this has been excellent. Photo quality, my gosh, huge update to this. Having the 200 megapixel camera on the back here, that's been amazing. The new on top of display camera right here has been awesome with photos and videos. I love how wide this gets. The quality of the videos and photos has been really good. I am incredibly happy about not only these big displays and bright displays, but also the cameras. The two big, huge improvements over the previous generations of any of the Galaxy Z Fold. And it makes it feel like, hey, this truly and does compete with the Galaxy S25 Ultra phone. Probably want to see it, little 4K video on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Hi Yoongi, how are you, buddy? I'm gonna turn this around, put it on myself. I've got it on the view around here. So what do you guys think? Looking good, looking bad? What do you guys think? Very curious. Yeah, so I think for me, the biggest differences I've seen so far on this is definitely the camera, like especially that the under display camera now being on top of the display. But I just feel like the main camera as well, obviously going up to 200 megapixels, has made these photos a lot more consistently good looking. And here's some video. So what do you guys think? This is the camera on the main display on top of it. And this also does 4K 60. And I love how wide it is. Like, this is great now to use as like a vlogging camera because it's so wide and you can see it instantly and it's on a big display. That I absolutely love it. It looks so good. And it looks super steady too, me like just recording this. Backlight, front light. What do you guys think? Looks pretty freaking good, right? Now I'll go to the cover camera. Here's the cover display front camera. And I mean, when I look at this, it's weird. I feel like I like the big display front camera better than the cover display front camera. Just by looking at the display. Maybe I'll change my mind when I look at it when I'm editing, but yeah, for this one, it's still kind of the way I feel. Also remember the microphones. How are the microphones sounding? Good, better, not good? So my official verdict thus far is battery life is performance is amazing. The cameras are amazing. I love the displays, how big they've gotten and impressive they've gotten, but it still feels like a small phone overall because of how thin and light it is. I love the design. It feels really premium. The build quality is excellent. I know, again, people are just super upset about there being no S Pen support on this phone. I understand. I think the two big things that people just keep complaining about are no S Pen and the battery life being not that great. Battery life, I agree, it hasn't been that great. Maybe it'll change with an update, like I said, when we get that first update. But S Pen's definitely not coming into the picture. So with that said, I still think it's a very, very good upgrade to do. Excellent upgrade to do. This is one of those phones you look at and you're like, it doesn't look that big. And then when you start using it, you're like, wow. Huge difference, especially when you go back and forth. Like, use this phone for like 30 minutes and go back to your Fold 6. That's where you're like, whoa, it feels like a completely different phone. And the Fold 6 it feels like not old, but like slower and not as modern, and the screens feel too small. It really is a big difference. I've seen it a lot in my comments, people saying, went to Best Buy, tried out the phone, wow. And it's definitely one of those upgrades. Pick it up, guys. I have it linked down below. It supports what I do, and you're gonna get an amazing deal on the pre-order, and you're gonna love this phone. I love the mint green. I have the blue. Samsung gave me the blue, and I put a skin on it. But I love the mint green. Get that one. My wife got that one too, so check it out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.